Chapter 2108, Can and Cannot. All the races began to guard against the ghost race, continuously strengthening their defenses. The demon race started setting up barriers. Apart from the human race's grand array, the demon race's barrier was considered one of the most perfect defenses. The Cold Water tribe had previously been protected by a barrier, but unfortunately, they were still silently wiped out by the ghost race. All the races were in a state of panic, and the newly formed 100 Races Alliance began to waver. To stabilize the alliance, the demon race began to strengthen the barriers for all the races. At the same time, the demon race also requested all the races to search for ancient records, trying to find as much information related to the ghost race as possible. 100,000 years ago, the various races had seized many things from the human race, including some ancient records. As long as they searched carefully, they might discover some clues. Although the demon race had made promises, the 100 Races Alliance's attacks on the human race still became disorganized and uncontrollable. The races had no heart for a great war and temporarily sought only to protect themselves. Lin Moyu sat in the warship, meditating with his eyes closed. The aura of enlightenment had long dissipated. This time, the enlightenment lasted for 2 days, twice as long as before. The rewards from the Great World Rune were more than before, and Lin Moyu also gained more benefits. The control over the time law and space law both increased from 20% to 22%. Although it seemed like a small improvement, Lin Moyu knew how difficult it was to cultivate these two laws, especially the time law, which was even more challenging than the space law. Most of the Enlightenment time was spent on the time law, with a small portion on the space law. Lin Moyu aimed to advance both laws simultaneously and always maintain their fusion state. Each law increased by 2%, which would have taken decades without the state of enlightenment. Now, it only took 2 days, which was extremely fast. After the enlightenment ended, Lin Moyu began to fuse the two laws. With the previous foundation, the fusion of the laws was completed smoothly. The power of time and space flowed through his body, causing Lin Moyu's perception of time to fluctuate, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, constantly changing. From the outside, Lin Moyu seemed to have a feeling of separating from this world. When the power of time and space was pushed to the extreme, Lin Moyu seemed to not exist in this world. As the initiator, Lin Moyu also vaguely had this feeling. For a moment, he seemed to be observing this world from another perspective. This feeling was very mysterious, as if he stood at the highest point of the world, able to see many things that were previously impossible to see. However, this feeling only lasted for a moment, not even 0.01 seconds. If Lin Moyu's soul were not sensitive enough, he wouldn't have felt it at all. After completing the fusion of the laws, Lin Moyu stopped cultivating. He felt his own body and muttered to himself,
"My idea was correct. Helping the Great World Runes sever karmic ties can indeed earn the Great World Runes rewards, allowing me to enter the state of enlightenment. With the help of the enlightenment state, I can cultivate at the fastest speed, but this method also has its drawbacks. If I enter enlightenment multiple times, it seems to reduce the effectiveness of the enlightenment. After entering enlightenment, a trace of the enlightenment aura will remain on my body, which will affect the next enlightenment. The enlightenment aura dissipates very slowly and requires time. But for now, I should be able to enter enlightenment one more time, and then I need to rest for a while. I should return to the human star region first and inform the Saint Venerables about this, so they can be prepared."
Lin Moyu controlled the warship, flying towards the human star region. At this moment, the various races had already started a war with the human race. Many routes to the human star region were blocked, making it impossible to pass through even deep space. Lin Moyu searched all the way and finally found an unblocked route through the perception of the space law. He flew through the dark void between the Azure Dragon Star region and the Vermilion Bird Star region. The only drawback was that the dark void was affected by the power of the Black Blood Great Realm, making the entire space relatively chaotic. The dark void was filled with countless star beasts and was also invaded by the power of the Black Blood Great Realm. Occasionally, there would be space rifts and space turbulence in deep space. Except for beings like the killing Saint Venerable who thrived in such environments, most people disliked the Dark Void. Lin Moyu didn't want to alarm the various races for now, nor did he want them to know he was outside, so he chose a more difficult path. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu and several Saint Venerables reached a rare consensus, forming a tacit understanding. The various races turned their homes upside down, searching through the materials they had seized from the human race, and finally found some hidden records. The records confirmed the existence of the ghost race, and what shocked them the most was that the ghost race was created by an ancient heavenly venerable. That heavenly venerable was extremely mysterious, creating the ghost race and then leaving them, disappearing without a trace. The records were incomplete, only revealing that the ghost race had incredibly terrifying combat power, capable of killing people invisibly. Wherever they passed, not a blade of grass grew, which indeed matched the experiences of the Green Crane and Cold Water tribes. Besides this, what shocked them the most was that a heavenly venerable could create a race. The Saint Venerables and other shore beings of the various races gathered again, and someone asked,
Abyss Demon Venerable, do you know if a heavenly venerable can create a race?
Among the various races, the demon race had a long history and had once produced a heavenly venerable. Few races had produced heavenly venerables, and those that did were later exterminated by the human race. Very few races that had produced heavenly venerables survived to the present day. The demon race was one, and it seemed the golden eagle race might have had one too, but it was not confirmed. Abyss Demon Venerable said,
Although our race produced a heavenly venerable in ancient times, that ancestor died in battle shortly after becoming a heavenly venerable.
His words disappointed many. Abyss Demon Venerable continued,
However, the ancestor left a few words, saying that not all heavenly venerables are the same. It cannot be denied that the human race's heavenly venerables were very strong. At that time, we were lucky to produce a heavenly venerable, but we were far inferior to the human race's heavenly venerables. As for whether heavenly venerables can create races, we are not sure.
Black Gold Saint Venerable of the Golden Eagle race said,
Indeed, our ancestor also said that the human race's heavenly venerables were very powerful. If it weren't for the Black Blood Great Realm restraining the human race's heavenly venerables at that time, we would have been exterminated long ago.
Everyone was speechless, not knowing what to do. Someone worriedly said,
The ancient human race's heavenly venerables were so powerful, and the race they created must be equally terrifying. How should we deal with this?
Abyss Demon Venerable sneered,
There's no need to worry too much. Although the ghost race was created by a human heavenly venerable, that heavenly venerable is long gone, and the ghost race is completely out of the human race's control. Otherwise, why didn't the human race deploy the ghost race 100,000 years ago? If the ghost race were truly that terrifying, would the human race have ended up in such a state back then? The appearance of the ghost race this time is just an accident. Maybe next time, they'll go to the human race's territory. We don't need to worry.
His words slightly reassured the strong members of the various races. In the ancestral land of the Bull Demon tribe, the aura on the 1,000-meter-tall Bull Demon statue was steadily and slowly growing stronger. The statue emitted a faint light. Blood Bull Saint Venerable once again came before the statue and respectfully asked,
My lord, can a heavenly venerable really create a race?
After a moment, a voice came from the statue.
Can and cannot.
2109 2109. Chapter 2109. The Black Blood Great Realm has not disappeared. The Bull Demon statue connected to some unknown existence. One that could promise the position of supreme and possessed astonishing power. Blood Bull Saint Venerable could obtain many unexpected answers from him.
Can and cannot.
This answer left Blood Bull Saint Venerable puzzled. However, the unknown existence continued.
This great realm once had powerful heavenly venerables who indeed had the ability to create new species, but that is not the same as creating life.
Blood Bull Saint Venerable still didn't understand.
Is there a difference?
Creating new species and creating life seemed the same to him.
You will understand when you reach that realm. Do you have any other questions?
Blood Bull Saint Venerable sensed that the other party seemed to be in a good mood today and was speaking more politely than usual. Seizing the opportunity, he continued to ask,
We received news that a heavenly venerable from the ancient human race once created a race called the Ghost Race. The Ghost Race was used by that heavenly venerable to deal with enemies. Later, the heavenly venerable disappeared, and the Ghost Race also vanished. But after 1,000,000 years, the Ghost Race has reappeared.
Blood Bull Saint Venerable recounted the recent events that happened to the Green Crane tribe and the Cold Water tribe. The bull demon statue seemed to fall into deep thought. Blood Bull Saint Venerable waited patiently, not urging him. He knew the other party must have heard and was thinking. However, the fact that it took so long for the other party to think made Blood Bull Saint Venerable's heart pound. He realized that the Ghost Race might not be ordinary. After a long time, the statue finally spoke again.
That was a powerful heavenly venerable who seems to have reached the Tao venerable realm. The Ghost Race would indeed be a rather terrifying race.
Blood Bull Saint Venerable asked,
Lord, how should we defend against them?
The statue replied,
If it is indeed as I think, then there is no defense. Not only you, but even ordinary Supremes would retreat in fear. Anyone below Supreme encountering the Ghost Race will surely die.
Blood Bull Saint Venerable gasped. He never expected the Ghost Race to be so terrifying. But thinking about the Heavenly Venerable's original intention of creating the Ghost Race to suppress rebellions, if they were too weak, how could they suppress anything? At that time, there were still some Supremes among the various races. The light on the statue changed, becoming dimmer than before. Blood Bull Saint Venerable knew that the other party's consciousness had already left. He bowed slightly to the statue and then turned to leave. As he left, he sent a message to Blood Bull Saint Venerable, sharing what he knew and advising him to be cautious and avoid confronting the Ghost Race directly. In the dark void, a light dot was flying rapidly, moving at an astonishing speed. The space in the dark void was somewhat chaotic, with frequent space rifts appearing, making the use of a warship inconvenient. Lin Moyu abandoned the warship, relying on the space law to traverse the dark void himself. In terms of speed, Lin Moyu was faster and more flexible. The surrounding light had long been swallowed up. Lin Moyu's body glowed with purple light as he shuttled through the endless void. This was his second time in the dark void, and with his current strength and realm, Lin Moyu had a deeper understanding of the dark void. The dark void was once one of the battlefields and also the chosen invasion point of the Black Blood Great Realm. It was filled with the power of the Black Blood Great Realm. If the Great World Rune were intact, it would surely expel all this power. But now, the Great World Rune was severely damaged and had no strength to clear the power of the Black Blood Great Realm. Besides the Dark Void, many places in the Great World still had remnants of the Black Blood Great Realm's power. Lin Moyu even suspected that some strong beings from the Black Blood Great Realm were still hiding, barely surviving. They seemed to have a way to put themselves into a state of slumber, where their life force wouldn't diminish, waiting for the right moment to awaken again.
Has the Black Blood Great Realm really disappeared?
Lin Moyu recalled the scene he saw in the Boundary Sea, where the Great World was moving alone in the vast ocean. At that time, he didn't see the existence of the Black Blood Great Realm and wondered if it had already left. After the two worlds collided and fought, they each went their separate ways. But now, in the Dark Void, Lin Moyu felt that the Great World hadn't gone far. He recalled the first time he encountered a strong being from the Black Blood Great Realm in a secret realm. Due to the origin technique, he was almost killed by the strong being from the Black Blood Great Realm across space.
The Black Blood Great Realm is still here. They haven't left. But where did they go? And why couldn't I see them in the Boundary Sea? The Black Blood Great Realm has hidden itself. They won't easily let go of the Great World.
If the enmity between the various races and the human race was a blood feud, then the enmity between the Great World and the Black Blood Great Realm was also a blood feud. In the end, only one side could survive. Lin Moyu felt that things were becoming more complicated and troublesome. Many matters were intertwined, becoming a tangled mess, hard to unravel. Lin Moyu crossed the dark void at the fastest speed, getting closer and closer to the human race. Finally, Lin Moyu sensed a trace of the human Emperor Network's aura. However, he was still some distance from the human star region. He could only sense the aura of the human Emperor Network, not yet able to communicate with it. Lin Moyu stopped in the darkness and took out a formation disk, quickly activating it. The formation disk emitted a brilliant light, crossing the void and disappearing into the endless darkness. The formation disk activated, temporarily connecting the power of the human Emperor Network. Lin Moyu waited for several minutes until the aura of the human Emperor Network was strong enough to communicate.
Human Emperor. Present.
The response from the human Emperor Network was swift. After connecting the power of the human Emperor Network with the formation, communication was no longer a problem, though it couldn't interfere with reality. Lin Moyu asked,
Which Saint Venerable is present?
Soon, the voice of House Saint Venerable sounded.
I am here.
As House Saint Venerable spoke, another faint voice could be heard in the background.
I am here too, I am here too.
Lin Moyu recognized Little Mist's voice and couldn't help but smile. House Saint Venerable asked,
Lin Moyu, did you do what happened to the Green Crane tribe and the Cold Water tribe?
Although they were 90% sure, they still needed confirmation from Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu quickly recounted his recent actions and inquired about the human race's recent activities. House Saint Venerable did not hide anything, explaining their dissemination of the ghost race information to divert attention. Lin Moyu hadn't expected that he would unknowingly cooperate with the Saint Venerables. Lin Moyu asked,
Senior, how much do you know about the ghost race?
House Saint Venerable replied,
Not much. We only know of its existence. Our records on the ghost race are limited, with many lost 100,000 years ago. I have asked the Human Emperor Network to send you all the information we have on the ghost race.
Lin Moyu received the information and quickly reviewed it, committing it to memory. House Saint Venerable asked,
When do you plan to return?
Little Mist's voice also chimed in.
Master, remember to bring a gift for Little Mist when you come back.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile.
I don't plan to return for now. Since you've given me such a good identity, I'll make good use of it, and do more things as the ghost race.
House Saint Venerable was not surprised by Lin Moyu's decision and did not interfere. From the beginning, he advocated for Lin Moyu's free growth. As seniors, they only needed to support him quietly from behind. 2110-2110. Chapter 2110. Months later, the god of death reappears. The great calamity that occurred 100,000 years ago caused the human race to lose a lot of information. Some were stolen, some were erased, and much information was completely damaged. At that time, the human race did not have the Human Emperor Network, so once those materials were lost, they were lost forever. Today, the human race has very little information about the ghost race. In the limited information available, the ghost race is described as very powerful. They once fought for the human race, suppressing rebellions from various tribes. Several tribes were exterminated by them, and their combat methods were somewhat similar to Lin Moyu's. Later, the ghost race disappeared for unknown reasons, only to reappear many years later. Each time they appeared, the ghost race would cause a massacre. Their targets seemed to include not only foreign races but also the human race. From the bits and pieces of the ghost race's past, Lin Moyu carefully analyzed and combined it with the last words left by the Saint Sigil Heavenly Venerable, who advised him to find the ghost race. Lin Moyu made a bold guess. The ghost race was a race created by a certain Heavenly Venerable in ancient times. This race possessed extremely strong combat power and was adept at manipulating the power of the void, which led to their formidable results. The power of the void is terrifying, and even a Saint Venerable would find it difficult to contend with. Even Lin Moyu, who now also mastered a bit of the power of the void, feared that he would be doomed if he encountered the ghost race.
No wonder the Saint Sigil Heavenly Venerable told me to wait until I became a Saint Venerable before seeking out the ghost race. He knew all along. Is the Heavenly Venerable who created the ghost race still around? Or has he, like other heavenly venerables, already left?
A heavenly venerable capable of creating a race with the power of the void would be a top-tier powerhouse even among heavenly venerables. However, since the Saint Sigil Heavenly Venerable advised him to seek out the ghost race after reaching the Saint Venerable realm, there must be a reason. A wave of consciousness swept over Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu looked around and sensed a large number of star beasts flying towards him in the void. The power of the formation disk had attracted the attention of the star beasts. In the endless darkness, the formation disk was like a blazing flame, very conspicuous. Although the star beasts were powerful, most of them lacked intelligence and acted purely on instinct. Lin Moyu calmly put away the formation disk. These star beasts were not worth his attention. If they hadn't come, it would have been fine, but since they had, they wouldn't be leaving. They would become nourishment for the Bone Hell. The Bone Hell, after reaching Divine Venerable rank 8, had integrated the Undying Law. Its power had greatly increased, but so had the requirements for advancement. The dozens of star systems from the Cold Water Tribe were like a drop in the bucket, barely improving the Bone Hell. Lin Moyu didn't mind at all. The more nourishment, the better. Dozens of star beasts approached from all directions, the weakest at Divine Venerable rank 1, the strongest at Divine Venerable rank 3. Lin Moyu felt a bit disappointed.
Too weak, not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth.
Such a small number of star beasts was indeed a drop in the bucket. Lin Moyu thought that even if he devoured all the star beasts in the dark void, it might not be enough for the Bone Hell to advance again. The Bone Hell appeared, instantly enveloping all the approaching star beasts. Terrifying sounds echoed from within the hell, accompanied by the star beasts' terrified roars. Seconds later, the Bone Hell disappeared, taking the star beasts with it, leaving the void completely calm. After devouring dozens of Divine Venerable level star beasts, the Bone Hell remained calm, showing no signs of improvement. Lin Moyu scanned the dark void.
No rush, I'll deal with you all later.
The star beasts in the dark void wouldn't escape, so there was plenty of time to deal with them. With a cold glint in his eyes, Lin Moyu disappeared into the darkness. Since the silent disappearance of the Cold Water Tribe, the great world seemed to have fallen quiet again. The demon race quickly set up barriers for various races to prevent attacks from the ghost race. With stronger barrier protection, the races seemed much more at ease. Only Blood Bull Saint Venerable held no hope in his heart. He had received news from Blood Bull Saint Venerable and knew how terrifying the ghost race was. If encountered, even he would have to flee for his life, let alone the so-called strong barriers of the demon race, which were useless. But he couldn't say these things. If he did, the 100 Races Alliance would surely waver. The human race would seize the opportunity to strike, breaking them one by one. Although the 100 Races Alliance seemed numerous, few could truly confront the human race head-on. Even the demon race alone would struggle to contend with the human race. Most of the weaker races were just cannon fodder in the eyes of the strong races. The demon race and the golden eagle race clearly understood this. While the demon race set up barriers, the golden eagle race led the 100 Races Alliance in launching even more ferocious attacks on the human race. At least on the surface, they wanted the human race to think they were united. The 100 Races Alliance, in terms of numbers, already surpassed the human race. In recent years, the human race had lost more battles than they had won. However, they felt this was the human race deliberately showing weakness. Each time the human race retreated quickly, but in reality they hadn't suffered much loss. They didn't dare to pursue, as the defenses of the human star region were too strong. The starry sky was filled with arrays. If they dared to charge in, they would surely suffer heavy losses. But they also knew that this stalemate was not a solution. The demon race had proposed concentrating their forces to attack one star region. As long as one star region was breached, the human race's defense system would have a gap. But the premise was to catch them off guard, concentrating the strongest forces of all races for a decisive strike. Originally, this plan was being prepared, but the sudden appearance of the ghost race disrupted it. Part of the demon race's forces had already gone to set up barriers for various races, so the surprise attack plan had to be postponed. The Shimu tribe, located on the edge of the domain space, was very far from the human star region, possibly the farthest tribe. If you drew a straight line on the star map, the nearest human star region the Shimu tribe could reach would be the Azure Dragon Star region. They would have to pass through 7 other tribes to get there. The Shimu tribe was a plant-based race, surrounded by other races, giving them a sense of security. In terms of strength, the Shimu tribe was very weak, similar to the Cold Water tribe. They occupied 86 star systems, but each star system was small, with limited resources. The Shimu tribe was once powerful. 100,000 years ago, they were very close to becoming a strong race, and at that time they were near the human race. Later, they were decimated by Xiao Zhantian, leaving them crippled. At their weakest, the Shimu tribe didn't even have a divine venerable. Such a race should have had no place in the cruel great world, but fortunately, they still had some use. The Shimu tribe produced a fruit called the Shimu fruit, which contained immense vitality and was needed by all races. As a result, several slightly stronger nearby races kept them around, specifically to produce Shimu fruits for them. Even in the 100 Races Alliance, the Shimu tribe had no place. Once powerful, the Shimu tribe had now become slaves, living seemingly stable but actually very difficult lives. Lin Moyu, sitting in the warship, took a long detour, navigating along the edge of the domain space, arriving at the Shimu tribe's territory from the rear.
100,000 years ago, you should have perished. Living an extra 100,000 years, your luck has run out.
There were no demonic barriers here. Lin Moyu easily flew in. Months later, the god of death once again made his grand entrance. 2111-2111. Chapter 2111. Kill you, take the ancestral tree. The saying goes that persimmons are picked when they are soft, but Lin Moyu did not come specifically to pick soft persimmons. He came for the Shimu fruit, or more precisely, for the Shimu ancestral tree. The Shimu fruit contains a peculiar power that is useful to many races, but useless to humans. Lin Moyu needs the Shimu fruit to obtain something from it. The Shimu race is very special. In ancient human records, information about the Shimu race was classified as top secret. In ancient times, humans had already researched the Shimu fruit. Because of the secrecy of the information, even during the Great Catastrophe 10,000 years ago, humans managed to keep this information intact, and it was not obtained by other races. Other races only thought that the Shimu fruit could help them cultivate and improve their skills, but they had no idea of its true use. Lin Moyu arrived outside a galaxy, enhanced his vision to the limit, and saw the situation within the galaxy, even the conditions on the planets. On a life-bearing planet, about half of the land was covered with a peculiar type of tree. The fruits on these trees were the Shimu fruits. Nearby, many Shimu people were tending to these trees, picking the ripe Shimu fruits. When picking the Shimu fruits, a strange hatred would appear in the eyes of these Shimu people. But they hid it well so outsiders would not notice. Only those who knew the inside story would understand where the Shimu people's hatred came from. The Shimu race is very special. They have no gender distinction. Every Shimu person is both a father and a mother, reproducing asexually. These trees, which appear to be trees, are actually the avatars of the Shimu people, and the Shimu fruits on them are their children. To personally pick their own children and turn them into someone else's fruit, how could the Shimu people not hate? But for the sake of survival, they had no choice but to send out the Shimu fruits. Over the past 10,000 years, countless Shimu fruits, countless of their own children, have been sent out.
A pitiful race, but also a sinister one.
A cold smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips. Others might not know about the Shimu race, but he knew very well. The Shimu fruit contains a peculiar energy. When consumed and absorbed, it can improve one's cultivation level. However, it can also form a seed within the body. This seed is very secretive and will not be discovered. Unless a Saint Lord consumes the Shimu fruit, it is unlikely to detect the seed's presence. Those who have consumed the Shimu fruit and formed a seed within their body are called
Seeded ones.
By the Shimu race. The actions and words of the seeded ones can be known by the Shimu people. To be precise, They are known by the father of the Shimu fruit. For countless years, the Shimu race seemed to be confined here, constantly oppressed. In reality, they were fully aware of what was happening outside. Around the Shimu race, a surveillance network composed of several races monitored them. After all, the Shimu race was once very powerful, even stronger than them. If the Shimu race were to rise again one day, it would be disastrous for them. Fortunately, for 10,000 years, the Shimu race had been very obedient, with no other thoughts, just to survive. 5,000 years ago, the Shimu race finally seized an opportunity to send some of their people out, leaving the domain and heading to the outer domain. The Shimu race hoped to form a new branch outside and develop well, eventually returning to kill their way back. At that time, humans had not yet recovered their vitality and were frantically seeking opportunities in outer space, with the entire race in a state of extreme frenzy. Those Shimu people who escaped were unfortunately encountered by a human god, and not just any god, but a peak god who exterminated them on the spot. However, the Shimu race did not know this. To maintain secrecy, they cut off all contact. Lin Moyu came this time to eradicate the Shimu race and avenge the blood feud of 10,000 years ago. Secondly, to sever the cause and effect and receive the reward of the Great World Rune, and to comprehend the Tao again. Thirdly, for the Shimu ancestral tree. As long as he obtained the Shimu ancestral tree, he could control all the Shimu seeds, equivalent to bringing countless eyes and ears to the human race. Who knows how many Shimu fruits had been sent out in 10,000 years, how many seeded ones there were. Lin Moyu guessed that the seeded ones were likely spread throughout the great world, in all races. It was possible that even humans had them. Although the Shimu fruit was useless to humans, curious ones might have tasted it. The hell of bones flew out, enveloping a galaxy. Screams echoed as the Shimu people on the life-bearing planet were quickly devoured, and the Shimu trees were all burned into juice, merging into the river of hellfire. The hellfire accepted everything, burning everything into juice and sending it to the river of hellfire. Lin Moyu brought death, descending upon galaxy after galaxy. 86 galaxies disappeared from the starry sky in less than half a month. But this time was different from before. Due to the special nature of the Shimu race, at least 4 races were monitoring them nearby. These monitors were alarmed when they noticed the abnormality of the Shimu race. They only saw a gray mass of gas enveloping the galaxy, and then the galaxy disappeared. Lin Moyu used the laws of space to hide his figure, making it difficult for others to discover him. A gray mist shrouded the periphery of the Hell of Bones, making it hard to see unless one got close. Some brave ones approached, but as they got close, the Hell of Bones would suddenly expand and devour them. Anyone who dared to approach became nourishment for the Hell of Bones without exception. Lin Moyu was bold. He wanted to use his own way to tell all races that the ghost race truly existed. The monitoring races, filled with fear, reported the situation. Unlike the human race with the Emperor's network, their information spread slowly. By the time the news reached the ears of the Saint Lords of various races, Lin Moyu was already standing in front of the Shimu ancestral star. On the ancestral star, a giant Shimu tree, towering 10,000 meters high, stood between heaven and earth. This was the Shimu ancestral tree. As long as he obtained it and used some secret methods, he could control all the Shimu fruits sent out. In this way, the human race would gain countless eyes and ears. For safety, Lin Moyu chose to act personally this time. The Hell of Bones was too dangerous and might kill the Shimu ancestral tree. The Hell of Bones still shrouded the galaxy, turning the entire galaxy into a cage. The nearby monitors had been eliminated by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu descended openly from the sky, landing directly in front of the Shimu ancestral tree. The 6 rare god-level Shimu people watched Lin Moyu with extreme vigilance. All 6 were high-level gods, far surpassing Lin Moyu in realm. They still did not dare to act. There was only one reason. Lin Moyu was human. Once pierced by Xiao Zhantian, even after 10,000 years, the Shimu race still feared humans. Seeing these high-level gods cowering, Lin Moyu felt that this race no longer had a reason to exist. Finally, one god gathered the courage to ask Lin Moyu,
Human, what are you here for?
Lin Moyu replied.
To kill you and take the ancestral tree.
His tone was extremely calm. As he spoke, Lin Moyu was still examining the Shimu ancestral tree, not even glancing at the gods. He did not care about the feelings of these high-level Shimu gods, not even considering them. And rightly so, for what was there to see in dead people? 2112 Chapter 21:12. Actively seeking death? Anger rose, and the 6 high-level god lords trembled all over with rage. Since when could a mere third-level god lord come before them so arrogantly and declare he would kill them? This was the ancestral star of the Shimu race, not the ancestral star of the human race. Yet they still did not take action. One god lord growled.
Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're human.
Lin Moyu chuckled lightly, with a hint of disdain.
It seems your spirit has been broken. After the battle with Saint Xiao, even your will to fight is gone. Originally 50,000 years ago, you tried every means to send out some of your people, thinking you could make a comeback. Now it appears that even if those people were still alive, it would be useless.
Lin Moyu's words left the 6 of them stunned. This matter was extremely secret. Even within the Shimu race, very few people knew about it. How did Lin Moyu know about it? And he spoke of it so casually.
How do you know about that? Who exactly are you? What did you do to those clansmen?
3 questions came from 3 god lords in succession. From their voices, one could hear that they were very frightened and afraid. Lin Moyu's words had scared them. Lin Moyu said,
Perhaps you'll be able to reunite with them soon.
His tone remained calm, without any fluctuation, but falling on the ears of the 6 god lords, it was like a thunderbolt out of a clear sky. They were not stupid, otherwise they would not have cultivated to the level of high-level god lords. They fully understood the meaning of Lin Moyu's words. A sense of despair grew from the bottom of their hearts. Finally, someone could not bear it any longer and let out an angry roar, charging towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled.
You finally show some spirit, but it's too late.
Gray mist surged from his body, and the hell of bones appeared at will, swallowing up that god lord. The hell fiends pounced like wolves and tigers, starting to frantically gnaw. Screams rang out one after another. In the blink of an eye, that god lord perished, body and soul destroyed. Having easily killed a high-level god lord, Lin Moyu acted as if he had done something trivial.
Next, it's your turn. But you can rest assured, I still have use for the Shimu ancestral tree, so I'll keep it for now. When it's no longer useful, I'll send it down to accompany you.
The remaining 5 high-level god lords were completely despairing. One of them said in a trembling voice,
Can you really not spare us?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
When you invaded the human race 100,000 years ago, you should have been able to imagine this day would come. You don't need to resist. The more you resist, the more painful it will be. All these years, you've worked hard to produce so many seeded ones. From now on, you won't need to send fruits to others anymore.
That high-level god lord spoke again.
You are human and have come for revenge. We will accept it and won't resist. But can you grant us one last request?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Let's hear it. Perhaps I will agree. Can you please spare our ancestral tree? You can take it away, but please don't destroy it. This is the last trace of our Shimu race in this world. We beg you.
The group knelt down before Lin Moyu. This final request from 5 high-level god lords on the verge of death moved Lin Moyu slightly.
Let me think about it.
He did not agree immediately. The Shimu god lord's request made him feel something was not quite right. Silently, his soul power enveloped the Shimu ancestral tree, not just the trunk, but also the intricate roots and numerous branches. No matter how the hell of bones acted, it would be limited by Lin Moyu's soul and would not harm even a bit of the Shimu ancestral tree. As his soul power flowed, encompassing the Shimu ancestral tree, Lin Moyu suddenly let out a soft exclamation. He actually sensed a trace of life force from within the ancestral tree. In its deepest part, there was a life being nurtured.
Is the ancestral tree being reborn?
The Shimu ancestral tree had long since died. Its current function was more like a magical artifact that could be used to control all the Shimu fruits. After all, it was the origin of the Shimu race, the ancestor of the entire Shimu race. All Shimu people flowed with its blood. At the same time, it was also the spiritual totem of the Shimu people worshipped daily. Lin Moyu carefully sensed it. With his extremely keen soul, he perceived the extraordinary nature of this life form. Undeniably, this life form was very powerful, with an extremely vigorous life force, even stronger than a god lord. Because of the ancestral tree's wrapping, it could not be sensed at all from the outside. It might be born as a transcendent realm being, which was simply an inconceivable existence. Even the dragon race seemed unable to reach this level. At the same time, Lin Moyu sensed intense resentment and anger within the life form. Lin Moyu gradually understood the origin of this life form. It was a killing spirit born from the condensed resentment of countless Shimu people, using the body of the Shimu ancestral tree as a vessel. This kind of life form was extremely powerful, born as a transcendent. It might not have the realm, but it could possess the battle power of a transcendent realm, and might even be stronger than an ordinary transcendent. It was somewhat unreasonable. However, its drawback was that it only knew how to kill without much wisdom. It was more like a killing weapon than a true living being. The Shimu race nurtured such a life form within the Shimu ancestral tree for the purpose of killing. They wanted to kill all the races that had oppressed them, which of course included the human race. If he really kept the life form inside the ancestral tree and brought it back to the human race, who knows when the life form inside might descend, carrying the collective resentment of the Shimu race. The surrounding humans would inevitably suffer. At that time, who knows how many people would die? A smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips, his gaze growing increasingly cold. He said softly,
"Don't worry, I'll keep your ancestral tree."
Hearing this, smiles appeared in the eyes of the 5 high-level godlords. But Lin Moyu continued,
"The ancestral tree is still useful to me, but the thing being nurtured inside, I won't keep."
As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the 5 high-level godlords changed drastically. All 5 of them charged towards Lin Moyu as if they had gone mad. Countless wisps of mist surged from Lin Moyu's body, instantly enveloping them and encompassing the entire planet. Screams rang out as the 5 high-level godlords were surrounded by hell fiends. No matter how they attacked, it was useless. The 8th-level godlord hell fiends quickly tore them to pieces. Not just them, but all the Shimu people on the planet could not escape. Even the planet itself, Lin Moyu intended to take it all away. A few minutes later, there were no more living beings on the planet, only a desolate land remaining. The containment formation flew out, and Lin Moyu unhesitatingly packaged up and took away the entire star system. Then he too vanished from space. 2 days later, the powerful experts of the 100 Race Alliance arrived belatedly. But the result was the same as before. They found nothing. Lin Moyu had done a very clean job, leaving no traces behind. However, this time there were several eyewitnesses. Through their descriptions and recorded images, they learned some information about the
ghost race.
The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said in a low voice,
"So this is the ghost race. The entire body is shrouded in mist, unable to see what's inside."
The Black Golden Saint Lord of the Golden Eagle race said softly,
"Where the mist passes, even star systems disappear. It's really just like the records say, where the ghost race passes, nothing remains."
It was clear that the 2 of them were very wary. Obviously, the ghost race made them feel quite troublesome, especially since the ghost race came and went without a trace, swallowing up a star system each time before disappearing, then reappearing in the next star system. Fear appeared in the eyes of the Blood Bull Saint Lord as he snorted hot air.
"So this is the ghost race."
The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said,
"Now that we have traces of the ghost race, we should take the initiative instead of being passive. Let's see if we can kill them."
The Black Golden Saint Lord felt the Deep Abyss Demon Lord's words made sense.
I agree with what the Deep Abyss Demon Lord says.
The Blood Bull Saint Lord's face changed drastically. What initiative? Actively seeking death? But he couldn't say that out loud. 2113 Chapter 2113. To repel foreign invaders, one must first ensure internal stability. Through that terrifying great figure, the two Saint Lords of the Bull Demon clan had already come to deeply believe in the fearsome nature of the ghost race. Even ordinary transcendents would retreat at the sight of the ghost race, while Saint Lords would certainly die if they encountered them. Just this statement alone was enough to illustrate how terrifying the ghost race was. He did indeed have trump cards that could kill the hidden experts of various races. But he was also only a Saint Lord, and his trump cards were useless against the ghost race. Now the Deep Abyss Demon Lord and Black Golden Saint Lord were discussing how to deal with the ghost race. He felt these two fellows were seeking death. But he couldn't say that. The Blood Bull Saint Lord was very anxious inside. The Deep Abyss Demon Lord's gaze swept over.
Blood Bull Saint Lord, do you have any good ideas?
The Blood Bull Saint Lord pretended to think.
At present, there are no good ideas. The ghost race appears and disappears unpredictably. No one knows where they will show up next. First it was the Blue Crane clan, then the Cold Water clan, and now the Shimu clan. These three races are completely unrelated, and their locations are very different.
The Black Golden Saint Lord said.
Actually, there is some connection. They are all located on the edge of the domain, very close to the outer space.
The Deep Abyss Demon Lord's voice was cold.
That's right. This is the common point of the three clans. I guess the ghost race has actually been active along the boundary between the inner and outer domains, so the three attacks were all on races in the marginal areas.
The Black Golden Saint Lord continued.
Besides the same location, these three clans have another thing in common: they don't have any transcendence in their clans.
The Deep Abyss Demon Lord agreed with his view.
The Black Golden Saint Lord is right. This is another common point. So we can deduce that the ghost race can sense the strength of various races, and they choose to attack weaker races. From this we can infer that the ghost race is actually not as strong as we thought, just that their actions are too mysterious. If we can catch them head-on, we may be able to deal with them.
The two Saint Lords spoke in turn, making their case eloquently. If he hadn't received warnings from that great figure, even the Blood Bull Saint Lord would have almost been convinced. But now, no matter what they said, the Blood Bull Saint Lord felt it was untrustworthy. He could only go along with it, planning to make a show of effort without actually exerting himself, and flee immediately if things looked bad. The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said in a low voice,
There's a human saying I think is good to repel foreign invaders. One must first ensure internal stability. If we want to join forces against the human race, we must first resolve the ghost race issue. If we can't even maintain internal stability, how can we talk about attacking the human race together?
His words were decisive, determining the direction of the 100 Race Alliance's actions going forward. Then the 100 Race Alliance began to make arrangements against the ghost race, setting up various defensive measures and conducting close surveillance. As long as the ghost race dared to appear again, several Saint Lords would take action immediately to deal with them. The Blood Bull Saint Lord listened to their discussions, rarely offering opinions, only thinking about how he should escape if they really encountered the ghost race, and in what posture he should flee. In the human divine city, the Heavenly Saint Lord looked at the battle situation just reported by the Human Emperor Network.
It seems the information we released has taken effect. With Lin's cooperation, the 100 Race Alliance has begun to make arrangements against the ghost race, and the pressure on the front lines has eased considerably.
The House Saint Lord drank tea with a smile.
We expected this would happen. This is good. We can take the initiative during this opportunity and let those youngsters get some good training.
The Heavenly Saint Lord said,
The battlefield is the best place to temper people. Although our casualties in recent years have been higher than in previous years, the speed of cultivation has also accelerated, and many talented individuals worth nurturing have emerged in our race.
In recent years, because of the constant battles with the 100 Race Alliance, many talented individuals have emerged from the human race during the fighting. They have already been marked by the Human Emperor Network and are being intensively cultivated. The War God Temple has also recruited many people from among them, passing on secret techniques from within the War God Temple to further enhance their combat power. The human race's foundation and resilience are much stronger than other races. Especially when facing pressure, they show even more astonishing performance. The more time is delayed, the better it is for the human race. Now the human race needs to turn from passive to active, and begin to take the initiative to attack. This way, the pressure faced by the 100 Race Alliance will increase. Both sides have their own considerations, constantly making arrangements and changing strategies. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu, who was regarded as the ghost race, was still immersed in his own cultivation. Shortly after he left the Shimu clan, the reward from the Great World Rune arrived as scheduled. Lin Moyu once again felt the joy of the Great World Rune, and some of the karma entangled around it lessened. As a member of the Great World, Lin Moyu also felt a sense of relief. Under the reward of the Great World, he successfully entered the state of enlightenment, and the enlightenment time increased compared to last time, reaching 3 days. During the 3 days of enlightenment, most of the time was spent cultivating the laws of time, and the remaining time was spent cultivating the laws of space. The mastery of the two laws improved again, from 22% to 24%. Like last time, the improvement was still only 2%. Although the enlightenment time increased by 1 day, a 50% increase compared to last time, the degree of understanding of the laws did not change, still at 2%. The reason for this was that resistance appeared in the enlightenment state, which Lin Moyu called Tao poison. The remaining power from the previous 2 enlightenments accumulated like poison, affecting the effectiveness of this enlightenment. Lin Moyu spent some effort to merge the 2 laws.
I can't continue anymore. I need to wait for a period of time to digest the residual toxicity produced by enlightenment.
3 enlightenments in a short period of time made Lin Moyu feel the after-effects of enlightenment. This also shows that everything has 2 sides, even the best pills have toxicity. Lin Moyu sensed the residual Tao poison in his body. He could feel the Tao poison slowly dissipating, very slowly, but fortunately very steadily. After careful calculation, he got a rough number.
It will take about 50 years. 50 years for the Tao poison to completely dissipate. Then I'll go back first, and use these 50 years to comprehend runes.
The warship sailed silently through space, flying quickly through vast distances along deep space. Just a month later, Lin Moyu returned to the dark void. Then he left the warship and traversed the dark void alone. With his mastery of spatial laws reaching 24%, his control over the laws was stronger, and his perception of space became more acute. Now each step could reach 50 million kilometers, 1 step per second. At the Saint Lord level, only the Saint Lords of the Golden Eagle clan could compare when initiating spatial jumps. But the flexibility of spatial laws was far beyond what the Golden Eagle clan's Saint Lords could compare to. If he activated the time laws as well, time would double 2 steps per second, reaching a speed of 100 million kilometers. Going a step further, merging the 2 laws, the effect of spatial laws would double again, reaching an astonishing speed of 200 million kilometers per second. Lin Moyu only needed a few steps to cross ordinary galaxies. However, the effect after merging the 2 laws was still not as good as the 3 light rune. If he used the 3 light rune, the speed could reach 450 million kilometers per second. This speed had already far surpassed ordinary transcendent realm beings. Only some transcendent realm beings who specialized in speed might be able to compare with Lin Moyu. Although it was still slower than the Wings of Death, it was more flexible and could be used in actual combat. He tried to see if he could draw more powerful runes, but unfortunately did not succeed. Although his understanding of runes had increased a lot, the 3 light rune was still his current limit. To draw more powerful space-time runes, he needed to advance further in his attainment of runes. Space-time distorted around him as Lin Moyu appeared and disappeared silently, traversing the dark void without a sound. 2114 Chapter 21:14. I'll just bring the things back. In the Divine City, at the entrance of the central Divine Palace, the Heavenly Saint Lord, Hao Saint Lord, and Fu Saint Lord were present. The three great Saint Lords of the human race waited there, gazing up at the sky. Behind Hao Saint Lord, Little Mist was still playing with a new toy. In Little Mist's hands, streams of laws rotated like currents, forming delicate little vortexes. Little Mist's talent for cultivation was extremely high, but for now she was more interested in playing. How Saint Lord had once taken Little Mist to tour various galaxies, collecting many toys. In between cultivation sessions, Little Mist would play with different toys, able to enjoy them for long periods.
Human Emperor, where has young friend Lin reached?
The Heavenly Saint Lord suddenly asked. The voice of the Human Emperor Network responded.
He'll arrive in a few minutes.
The Human Emperor Network monitored the entire human race. From the moment Lin Moyu began returning, the network had informed the Saint Lords. Fu Saint Lord said,
Young friend Lin said he would give us a surprise. I wonder what it could be.
How Saint Lord's eyes gleamed.
Actually, it's not hard to guess. Think about what young friend Lin did on this trip.
What did he do? He disguised himself as the ghost race and wiped out the Blue Crane, Cold Water, and Shimu clans. Then he erased those star regions. The Heavenly Saint Lord said,
I don't know what method young friend Lin used to bring back so many planets.
Fu Saint Lord belatedly realized.
Do you mean young friend Lin didn't destroy the planets, but brought them all back?
What else could it be? How Saint Lord smiled.
Fu Saint Lord, you shouldn't focus solely on studying runes all the time. Sometimes you need to think about other things too.
Fu Saint Lord smiled.
I'm not good at that sort of thing.
The Heavenly Saint Lord laughed.
Fu Saint Lord has devoted his life to runes. You know what he's like. It's fine if he doesn't think about it. Keeping things simple is good too.
How Saint Lord nodded.
Perhaps it's because he's simple enough that old Su was able to become the Fu Saint Lord.
Suddenly, Little Mist, who had been playing with her toy, called out happily.
Master is back.
As soon as she spoke, the three Saint Lords saw Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu appeared in space outside the Divine City, still 1,000,000 kilometers away. A second later, their gazes shifted downward as Lin Moyu appeared before the three of them.
Master!
Little Mist happily tossed aside her toy and pounced over, clinging to Lin Moyu like a koala. The Heavenly Saint Lord and How Saint Lord's eyes showed a hint of surprise. Lin Moyu's movement just now had greatly shocked them. Not because Lin Moyu's speed was too fast, but because Lin Moyu had ignored the Divine City's defenses. The Divine City was filled with various arrays. Lin Moyu had disregarded them all. This display revealed Lin Moyu's powerful mastery over the laws of space. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Greetings, seniors.
Fu Saint Lord nodded with a smile.
Not bad, you've reached God Lord 3rd level.
The Heavenly Saint Lord asked.
Congratulations, young friend Lin. Your control over spatial laws has advanced further.
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Seniors need not worry. Spatial laws alone cannot directly break into the Divine City. I also use temporal laws to achieve this effect.
The fusion of temporal and spatial laws produced spacetime power. Spacetime power was incredibly mysterious. Although Lin Moyu was clearly right before their eyes, it felt as if he wasn't in this time point. Though the Divine City had many arrays were ultimately inanimate objects. They had not detected Lin Moyu at all. To these arrays, Lin Moyu was not in the same time node as them, so naturally they had no effect. Hearing Lin Moyu's answer, the Heavenly Saint Lord finally relaxed. Otherwise, facing someone who could control spatial laws, wouldn't the Divine City's defenses become a joke? How Saint Lord looked at Lin Moyu with great satisfaction.
Where's the surprise you mentioned? Right here.
Lin Moyu waved his hand, and dozens of containment formation talismans flew out. Hundreds of talismans hovered in midair, glowing brightly. The Saint Lords stared wide-eyed at the talismans filling the sky.
This is...
Fu Saint Lord reacted most strongly, exclaiming excitedly,
Containment formation talismans.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Senior has a good eye. Indeed, these are containment formation talismans.
The Heavenly Saint Lord now understood and urgently asked Fu Saint Lord,
Are these the containment formation talismans we've been unable to fully research?
Fu Saint Lord answered decisively.
That's right. I wouldn't mistake them. These are definitely containment formation talismans.
He anxiously asked Lin Moyu.
It's said that containment formation talismans can trap enemies when attacking, conceal oneself when retreating, and even contain all things. Is that true?
Lin Moyu confirmed Fu Saint Lord's words.
Indeed it is. Seniors can see for yourselves.
Lin Moyu activated the talismans. One only needed to probe inside with soul power to see the conditions within the talismans. Inside the talismans, vast spaces were revealed, each containing planets. Each talisman represented a galaxy. A full 300 galaxies had been packaged up and brought back by Lin Moyu. Although 300 galaxies wasn't a huge amount, it could at least accommodate large numbers of humans and provide sufficient resources for hundreds of thousands of cultivators. Lin Moyu handed all the containment formation talismans to the Saint Lords. These resources in his hands wouldn't be of much use. The Saint Lords would find suitable locations to release the galaxies and transform them into environments suitable for human habitation. Then Lin Moyu took out another containment formation talisman.
This contains the Shimu ancestral tree. As seniors know, controlling the Shimu ancestral tree allows one to control all the seated ones.
The Heavenly Saint Lord's eyes lit up.
That's right. This way, our human race will gain many more eyes and ears.
How Saint Lord asked.
Young friend Lin, who do you think should control the Shimu ancestral tree?
Lin Moyu looked at Fu Saint Lord.
Let's not trouble two masters for one task. We should leave this matter to Fu Saint Lord.
Fu Saint Lord was in charge of the human race's intelligence system. It was most fitting to give him the Shimu ancestral tree. Lin Moyu wasn't worried about it affecting Fu Saint Lord's cultivation. After all, Fu Saint Lord wasn't alone. He had the entire Su family and many rune masters behind him. Fu Saint Lord said,
No problem. Leave this matter to me.
Lin Moyu continued.
However, there's one issue to deal with first. The Shimu people gathered all their resentment and used the ancestral tree to nurture a life form. When this life form is born, it will likely reach the transcendent realm immediately. It would cause great disaster then.
A transcendent realm life form, if it appeared, even if immediately suppressed, the mere shockwaves of battle would be enough to destroy billions of light-years of space. If there were any galaxies nearby, the people in those galaxies would be unlikely to survive. But the Shimu ancestral tree was still useful now. The life form inside was connected as one with the ancestral tree. Killing the life form directly would destroy the Shimu ancestral tree along with it. Fu Saint Lord thought for a moment.
We could place it in an uninhabited galaxy. That way, even if the life form emerges, it won't cause much trouble.
Lin Moyu said.
I considered that too, but it's not very suitable. This kind of strange life form born from resentment is very difficult to truly kill. If it escapes, it would be very troublesome.
The implication was that even Saint Lords might not be able to completely kill this kind of life form. No one knew what abilities this life form might possess. A life form nurtured from the resentment of countless Shimu people over countless years. Who knew what special abilities it might have? This was not a good gamble to take. How Saint Lord suddenly said,
There's another way. In the treasury, there's a magical item called the Heart and Soul Stone.
The Heavenly Saint Lord's eyes also lit up.
That could work. We can use the Heart and Soul Stone to control it. No matter how much resentment it has, it can be used for our human race.
How Saint Lord said,
Since it specializes in killing, I think we should let Old Killer control it. It might greatly increase Old Killer's combat power. What do you think, young friend Lin?
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
I have no objections.
Lin Moyu only wanted to cultivate. He naturally didn't want to manage this kind of thing. He just brought the items back. The rest was for them to worry about. 2115 2115